You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 28th meeting of the Michigan City Animal Control Board. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesstheportecounty.org.
Shoot it real quick. I want to thank, so everyone knows, I'm Chief of Services with the Michigan City Police Department. I was appointed here recently in October. I took over for the position of Lieutenant Jillian Ashley had. She has now moved on to be the upcoming commander of afternoons. We wish her well. She did a great job with animal control and her work as Chief of Services for the past several years. With that, created an opening for a chairperson, which by policy will be myself now. So we will have a roll call. I am present. Director Euler.
Present.
Karen Edwards.
Present.
Not present at the moment is Dr. Rex Bailey, the Michigan City Animal Hospital, and Councilman Mack, who is the representative for the Animal Control Board. We do have a quorum. Do you have a motion to approve the minutes? Does anything need corrected first on these, or?
I did not see anything that needed to be corrected, so I didn't see anything.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting from September 28th of 2022.
Approve. Approve.
A few things on previous business. I myself would like to welcome Nicole Fletcher as our newest animal control officer. Oh, hang on just a second.
Hello. Good, how are you?
Dr. Bailey, correct?
Yep. I'm sorry, I was just going to.
Sorry, running late. It's always sitting down.
Dr. Rex Bailey is president of the meeting. Nicole's been working for several months now, doing a fantastic job. Works very hard, and we're very happy for her to be here with us. Would also like to cover the ARPA funds that were appropriated for the animal control vehicle, as well as the expansion of the kennels. I spoke with Chief Corley. He's going to present the information to the Board of Works at the second Board of Works meeting in January for the vehicle, so we should get that started here for the purchase soon. That just needs to be outfitted and whatnot, so that should hopefully be on the agenda here the first part of 2023. The expansion of the kennel, we've had several meetings with Director Euler and I, trying to determine what we need and what our wish list is. I spoke with the city attorney today. We're actually going to have an engineer draw up some plans that we can present to the Board of Works. That way we know exactly how the layout's going to be and everything ahead of time, and then that way we can bid out the quotes for the construction people to hopefully be able to build within what we have appropriated. So that's a work in progress. He was just contacted today, so hopefully we'll have something here in the next week or two. Any other previous business?
Just a quick question, do we have a timeline for expanding? Like, are we wanting to have it done by 2024?
Well, I mean, I'm working at a pace that's quick. So as long as we can get the bids out quickly, it really probably just comes down to supply and how soon the company can get it done. So I would hope that it would be sometime beginning of 2024.
Okay.
Not to say there aren't other things that could get in the way of that.
Correct.
It might be dependent on the contractor that we pick, on their timetable.
Okay.
So it's still going to take a little time, but I say as soon as possible.
Okay. John wanted me to ask, so I wanted to get that information out. Okay, thank you.
Any new business? Director, sir?
Yes, I would like to see it, money appropriated for to have vaccinations available for parvo, distemper for puppies and also parvo test, so that they could do that on site. So we're not transporting parvo animals to other facilities and potentially spreading it. That's something that we've done from time to time, is sold some to them for to have available or to check a litter or something like that, but it would be much more efficient and probably safe if we had the vaccines available. The other thing that comes up is some of these older dogs, most of them that end up at animal control are not vaccinated, and sometimes we're in limbo with some of these dogs for months, weeks, whatever. They should be vaccinated, and there's no reason that we can't have distemper parvo available along with parvo vaccines. It's just going to be, there's no sense having an animal there and bringing in a parvo and having all the animals catch it that are at the kennel. So I think that's something that we should be putting in our budget. It's not going to be a huge amount, but
I agree, and I also think that the fines for reclaims should be upped to cover that cost. If someone has lost their dog, they come in, now we are holding this dog sometimes for a week or more because the shelters are full. And then all of a sudden the owner says, oh, well, that is my dog. Well, now we've had an unvaccinated dog in our kennels for a week. So I think that there should be an increase to the reclaim fee to cover the cost of the vaccinations.
Really quick, Dr. Bailey, is there any harm if, say, an animal comes in, excuse me, that had just got vaccinated a week earlier?
it's very safe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
There's vaccines that are very safe if they get it every week, so it's not an issue.
Okay.
The other thing that we need to clarify and look at is aggressive dogs and how long we need to hold them, and clarify that a little bit more. There's too many situations where these guys are stuck with a dog that's going to eat anybody that gets in their way, and we have to wait for the city attorney to get appropriate quote, say it's okay to do it. And I'm not sure those dogs should be going back to the owners in that situation. So in a set amount of time, I mean, I know there's always a 5-day situation, but in these aggressive dogs, that a dog last week that put the owner in the hospital twice. So, that's not a dog that needs to go back to anybody.
And we also need to talk with the city in regards to holding court case dogs. Our kennels are full. We have 7 kennels, and that's why we're doing the expansion on the kennels. Right now, every single one of my kennel spaces are full with court case dogs, and we have one of those court case dogs being boarded at Dr. Bailey's facility because we just don't have the room. So something needs to happen in regards to how long do we actually have to hold these court case dogs, and if they want us to hold it for the duration of the court proceedings, then funds need to come from somewhere to pay for boarding at a facility.
And that may be a situation where it's in a court case and the owner has the option of saying, okay, I'm going to pick up these expenses, and getting collected is another story, but at least they will assume responsibility if they want us to hold it till they get out of court or whatever the situation is. So that's a matter of clarifying. Sometimes we get stuck in limbo with some of the dogs in those kind of situations. So, but I'm more concerned about making sure that we're vaccinating these dogs and testing appropriately, and these guys can be educated on that and so forth. So.
Okay, review of Michigan City animal control activities.
For the third quarter, between July 1st and September 30th, we had a total of 98 impounds. 80 of those were dogs, 18 were cats, and it breaks down that Michiana Humane Society took 13, LaPorte took 16, 6 went to a rescue, 0 were euthanized. We had 38 owner reclaims, 6 are still in foster, and those 6 are actually a court case as well. We did have 1 deceased animal, a dog. And then for cats, Freeds took 1, Michiana Humane Society took 2, we had to euthanize 0, none are in foster, we had 1 owner reclaim, and we picked up 14 deceased cats.
move on to board
Can I
comments.
ask you a question real quick? How many of those owner reclaims were more than once? I mean, that, I think there should be a progressive fee for,
There is.
there is, okay.
The first time, it depends. We can waive the reclaim fee if someone is out actively searching and has called us and said, my dog is out, I'm out looking. We find the dog, we're not gonna charge them. They are out actively looking. The first time we have the dog is $50, and then after that, it's an additional $50 each time. And then when it gets to be like the third time, then we charge a nuisance fee, which is also $50. We also will charge for not having city tags, which is $50, and if they don't have proof of rabies, it's an additional $50. And each time they have to have proof of rabies, that's state law.
Do you know how many of those reclaims were multiple? Just an estimate, I'm just kind of curious about it.
Off the top of my head, no, I don't know. We fortunately were able to get owner surrenders on several of the dogs, Ace being one of them, who was finally adopted. We are dealing now with one that's a habitual problem. Princess.
We have her now.
She's now
Princess, well, they haven't signed over, but she's with us.
Okay. For this section of time, I can't tell you, probably
I was just curious.
25%, I would say.
Oh, okay. The other question, looking at these numbers, is what is actively, because I know the list is huge, actively doing with cats?
We are working with Freeds to do the TNR.
Okay.
With us being booked with our kennels, we really don't have the kennel space to put a bunch of cats in traps in our kennel space. Plus, you're also talking about 7 dogs that are barking constantly, and I don't want to put trapped feral cats into that building.
Right. I was just curious because I know you told me the list is thousands.
The list is very long. We have started asking people who want to contact Freeds that they can contact Freeds and work with them to TNR. I believe Freeds charges a $50 deposit for their traps, which they do get back once they return the traps to them. So there is an option there for people with feral cats. And we are working with other people that are helpers for TNR with Freeds. We'll tell them where we know a hot spot is, and then they go and they trap, and they keep them safe overnight for the surgery.
That's a big complaint you get a lot, I know.
It is.
Okay.
We can be out on a call for a dog bite, and somebody will walk up to us and say, what can you do about these feral cats? And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do right now.
Okay.
I have some comments when we get to board comments, other than that.
Any additional questions on the statistics? We'll move on to board comments. Director Euler.
First, I'd like to say welcome.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to just talk about our newest ACO, Nicole Fletcher. She does have a background in animal care, as well as being a past volunteer for Michigan City Animal Control. This means we now have 2 full-time ACOs, ACO Fletcher and then ACO Denham. And then we have myself as the director. So there are 3 of us out there trying to help as many people as we can with their animals. Our goal is always to get the animal back to a good home. We want to make sure that the animals are well cared for, and if they need some help with food, we have different places that we can reach out to distribute food, or cat litter even. So if there's a need, please reach out to us at mcac@emichigancity.com. taking care of animals. Cold weather is here. This past weekend, we all realized that it was the deep freeze, and we want to make sure that any animals that are housed outside have proper shelter in place. Our city ordinance, section 14-134, for general animal care requirements. When temperatures plummet, pets should not be left outside. Bring smaller short-haired pets and puppies, kittens, and their nursing mothers inside when temperatures reach 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Larger breeds, thick-coated dogs may remain outside with adequate shelter available to them to a temperature of 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is subject to the discretion and judgment of our animal control officers. I have a Great Pyrenees. Trust me when I say I understand the struggle to get the heavy-coated dogs inside. There are times that I'm going out there pulling my dog back in, and she's like, but no, I want to stay outside. It's nice out. That doesn't mean that their feet can take that cold for long periods of time. 10 minutes at the most over this weekend was more than enough. Precipitation and wind chill may also be taken into account in determining appropriate temperatures to bring pets indoors. Cats and other small pets should be kept indoors or at least brought into a warm structure during the severe weather. Back to the feral cats, I realize that you can't get a feral cat to do what you want it to do. You can't get a regular cat to do what you want it to do, but if you have access to styrofoam boxes, you can create a big container for them. Don't put blankets in them. You want to use straw, which you can pick up at several stores here in town. You also want to make sure that all animals have access to clean, unfrozen water. If food and water can freeze, so can your pets. A full list can be accessed by going to emichigancity.com, clicking on Government, and then on Code of Ordinances. First of the year means new city tags for everyone. They are $3 for altered and $7 for unaltered. You will need to have your rabies vaccine certificate. Come into the station and talk with the ladies in records. They can get you set up. As always, we are in need of volunteers. If you are interested, please email mcac@emichigancity.com. You can volunteer as little or as much as you like. Our kennels stay full, unfortunately, so it is always, any help is always appreciated. Volunteers can walk dogs, clean kennels, wash dishes, fold laundry. You can go in and cuddle with the dog if you want to, or the cat. We recently had one cat that's a court case cat that we nicknamed Murder Mittens. But after we discovered that he didn't like catnip, he was very loving. You will work with us, volunteers work with us while we are at the kennels. We here at Michigan City Animal Control have asked for donations of food, treats, and toys, and to say that we are overwhelmed at the generosity of Michigan City is an understatement. Our kennels are full at this time due to the court case dogs. While we supply dry food, it has been wonderful. Due to the city's compassion, we have been able to offer them more. The peanut butter we go through at a nonstop basis. So thank you so very much from the bottom of all of our hearts. We touched on the kennel expansion already. I just want to say that moving forward, we've been looking at different ideas to make our kennels bigger and better and safer for the animals and for us. We cannot continue to save more animals without more room. We have the 7 kennels for dogs and 3 cat kennels, and what we are looking to do is to add on to the current building, creating more dog kennel runs, a separate area for the cats, office space for myself and the ACOs, a grooming area, and by a grooming area I mean a bathtub. Some of these dogs come in and they are just covered in their own feces, and to not be able to bathe them properly to get that off of them it's a health issue for them as well. The city's current kennels, a grooming area, a laundry area, and a restroom. The city's current kennel is one building, which means the cat kennels are in the same room with the dogs. There's no area to bathe dogs and no restroom. By adding on, we will be able to work from the office where the animals are located. By adding on, the cats won't have to listen to the dogs barking and dogs won't see the cats. It is stressful enough for these animals to be in strange surroundings, let alone to have to see other animals they may not like or be afraid of. We are hoping that we can have outside kennel runs so that even dogs that are aggressive or on a bite hold can have outside time without putting our ACOs in danger. We are also looking at options for an outdoor space that would allow dogs to be off leash in a fenced in area. This summer, ACO Denham and myself we built a small temporary outside area to allow dogs to be outside without being off leash. And we had puppies at the kennels, so it came in very handy for those puppies to be outside. We are brainstorming ideas for fundraising. Yes, we received the ARPA funds, but that money does only go so far, and we all know the price of things has gone up. We will be announcing soon what we have come up with.
Good. Is that what you have in comments?
I would also like to say welcome. It's going to be a pleasure working with you. And also to Nicole, I look forward to working with you. I've worked with you before, but I look forward to moving on. And really not much. Hopefully 2023 is a better year for all of us, and we can get this expansion going because we all know it's in desperate need.
Thank you. Dr. Bailey?
And I think I think you guys are making great strides to get to where we need to be. It's just, everybody gets like, why is it so slow? But it's the way it goes. And they're taking great care of the animals. The dog wards are doing a great job. We've got a great staff now, so I really appreciate everything that's being done and the compassion and so forth that's being shown with the animals. I think everybody's doing a great job.
Thank you.
I myself will second that, although I've only been in charge of animal control for a few months now. It's been a pleasure to meet with you regularly and try to discuss the best ways to move forward, not only with the building, but work in general. You guys do a fantastic job. I can't say how much, we appreciate you, all the extra hours you put in and the work that is done is really appreciated, especially over just the holidays, everything that you had to do, and we really thank you. So.
Got a great crew.
We'll move on to public comments. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Chief, if I may, 2 comments. First, I would like to make a suggestion, if it's possible, about the reclaiming of animals. We have a lot of people in Michigan City who like animals. The group that is passionate about animals, as I am a member of, is far smaller. And as far as reclaiming animals, I like the additional fees that you're charging. But as you went through those stages, I asked myself, what point do you find pet owners to the point where they're looking at $150, $200 to reclaim their animal, and their animal is just not worth it to them? No, thank you. If there would be possible to legislatively put in place the condition where if an individual refuses to reclaim their animal, then the reclaiming fee turns into a fine. Then if they're saying, well, I'm going to pay $200 anyway, I might as well get my dog or cat back. Just a suggestion. Because our primary goal is to have every animal out of weather, sheltered, and cared for. And we do have an awful lot of animals running loose, and I think it's because people, unfortunately, too many people that don't put high enough value on their pets for companionship and taking care of them. That was the first, so I was going to ask another question. Since it's public comment, like I hear at council meetings with comments on that questions. The second thing is I was able to make a discovery this morning. I located a one and only drawing of the kennel as it was originally built.
Oh.
And I think this is very valuable and can benefit us. I have copies for you in more ways than one. Just so the public knows, the reason this has taken so long is we've been impacted by the legislation regarding how we spend our money and with the process of doing that. The ARPA money that was approved for this can be used only for rehabilitation, not for new construction. And when we found that out, that hurt the project moving forward. Another is the pricing limit, that once we get, we have to take multiple bids, and without a specification, that was very difficult. And when you get above a certain threshold, in this case being 150,000, then you have to go through the normal bidding process of advertising it as a project in the newspaper, and then a 6-week period of bidders applying. Well, these drawings can short circuit that and allow us to move forward faster. Jackie and I have talked about, and Chief, you and I don't get to see each other often, so I apologize for this. But we've talked about just adding on to the building, which makes it a remodeling situation. It gives us access to the $135,000, I believe is the current money in ARPA funds. Furthermore, talking to our city attorney, Ms. Amber LeVage Stallbrick, this morning, she feels that because this is a public safety, I think the way she phrased the job, it has to go before the board works, that we have to have the stamp of an architect and an engineer on this, so it has to be designed. So I believe that by locating these drawings, and it was a one loan that was done by Tunnel Blank, I haven't had a chance to speak to Ms. LePage because I just discovered this about 30 minutes ago, so I made copies right away for you, that we can give them a contractor. Our thought also was to use Primera, an existing entity that the city uses. We have them on an as-need basis, and this is an as-need situation. Have them price this out, and they have architects and engineers, as does Tunnel Blank. So that would simplify the project, tell them we want this building duplicated with the same materials and structure that this drawing dictates, bigger if we want it, but basically the materials and construction are spec'd out here, and then they can spec it, we can move forward faster. That's my hope with this.
Except for the way the kennels are currently designed, where they've got the drainage at is I'm not really sure why it got put where it got put. With the way the kennels are set up, when you walk in the door, there's a drainage on the floor, and the kennels are over here on this side, which means when you're cleaning those kennels out, all that feces is running across the floor where the dogs now have to walk through, which is a health issue for these dogs, and for us, because we are walking through it as well. So that design isn't the best design that we could have. I know that you had said that you had spoken with someone this morning. I'm sorry, sir.
With the city attorney as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that we have to go through an engineer first, is basically what we established.
I fully understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And I know our design, this drawing doesn't show the kennels as they are. And I don't know much about kennels. I would think that you actually want a small floor drain in each kennel, so you can clean it individually. We can make modifications.
Right.
We can have the engineering company make modifications, but this gives us a building block, a starting point.
Right, it does, and that's going to be very helpful to help us move forward faster, right.
I'm submitting this to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just don't want to end up with that main floor drain where everybody's walking through. It's better off, as you said, either in each individual one, or I have seen kennels where they run to the back with a drainage trench back there with it, so that way it's not where the dogs are standing, it's running to the back of the kennel with a drainage trench and drains in there, so you just shove it all to the back, nothing comes out to where the dogs are walking, which I really like that type of design the best. But I'm sure there are other designs that are out there, we just haven't
Well, yeah, we can
searched through them, we just need to,
So we want, because
Right.
it's obvious that the parameters that you want incorporated into this are different than the original were.
right,
The bathing area, which is essential, a work area for animal control officers to do your reports, download your body cameras, that kind of thing, if we can do that. But I'm very pleased that
I am
this
too.
gives us a starting, the cut significant time off the process.
I agree.
I'm just sorry that took so long, it's good.
It's government and that's how it works.
Any other public comments? Any other public comments? No public comments? Unless there's any other comments from the board, we will adjourn, and our next meeting will be tentatively Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.